and thank you for being with us this morning. My name's Kevin Kelly. I'm a state senator from the 21st District, which represents the communities of Monroe, Seymour, Shelton, and Stratford. I'm joined here this morning by Senate Leader in the Senate, Len Fasano, and also Senator Heather Summers, as well as Gretchen Rafa, who is the Director of Public Policy Advocacy, Strategic Engagement, Planned Parenthood of Southern New England, Aaron Jones, who's the Regional Director, Advocacy and Government Affairs for the Northeast region of March of Dimes, Kathryn Bailey, who is the Deputy Director of the Connecticut Women's Education and Legal Fund, Stephen Hernandez, the Executive Director of the Connecticut Commission on Women, Children, and Seniors. What we're here to discuss is Senate Bill 206, which is an act to authorize pregnancy for special enrollment in insurance. This is a bill that we've tried to pass a couple times. 2 years ago, it did not get on the agenda in the Insurance Committee, and I used a rare procedure to petition this bill out of committee to get it on the Senate agenda. That enabled us to get some visibility on the issue and bring awareness to the topic and importance of pregnancy as a special qualifying event so that a woman could get prenatal care during that pregnancy, which would improve a health outcome. Last year, as a result of that awareness, we were able to not only get the bill out of committee, but we also got it unanimously approved in the Senate before it died on the House calendar at the end of last session. This year, once again, we're proposing this bill, and the hope is that this year we can get it both through the House and Senate and onto the governor's desk for signature. This is a very important bill, as I indicated, because it not only would create a special enrollment period, but it helps women to get coverage where there's currently a gap. And what this is going to do is it's going to improve health outcomes for both the mother and child. And you'll see on the boards that there's several statistics. We know that prenatal care helps reduce the incidence of premature and low birth weight babies. And by doing so, we alleviate the cost. We know that a low birth weight and premature baby costs 12 times more, 12 times. So if we can improve that health outcome, we reduce that cost. The CDC has statistics that demonstrate that women without prenatal care are 3 to 4 times more likely to have complications and more likely to have a death as a result of a pregnancy-related complication. Premature birth is about $55,000. A healthy birth is $5,000. That's a significant savings. The birth is covered, but it's this prenatal care that's not. Our exchange in the state of Connecticut, one of the best reasons to have a state-based exchange is to provide this type of benefit to Connecticut residents, to provide more flexibility in our state health care. And we want to take advantage of that flexibility and opportunity by allowing us to do this. So, from my perspective, and you'll hear others talk about this, what this is going to do is it's going to give women the opportunity to get the health care that they need where there's currently a gap to improve the health outcome and hopefully reduce cost. With that, I'd like to invite Gretchen Rafa to the podium.
Thank you, Senator. Hello, everyone. My name is Gretchen Rafa, Director of Public Policy and Advocacy with Planned Parenthood of Southern New England. And I want to thank Senator Kelly for introducing Senate Bill 206 again. At Planned Parenthood, we believe everyone has the right to control their fertility and plan their families with access to the education, information, and resources to do so. With the Affordable Care Act, we saw great advances in women's health care and health care coverage. One of the important benefits that came with the Affordable Care Act was coverage for pregnancy, maternity, and newborn care as one of the 10 essential benefits that must be included in plans sold on the insurance marketplace. Pregnancy care coverage can positively impact our state's maternal mortality and morbidity and infant mortality rates. However, any woman who does not qualify for pregnancy-related Medicaid coverage, who is uninsured, and who becomes pregnant outside of the marketplace open enrollment period may not have access to health care coverage while pregnant. Health care coverage during pregnancy is important because basic treatment and preventative care services serve as a boundary between healthy motherhood and a woman's maternal mortality or serious morbidity. Most of the complications that are developed during pregnancy are preventable and treatable. Moreover, if women have pre-existing complications, those are often worsened during pregnancy if not properly managed. The U.S. is one of the only countries in the world where maternal mortality rate is actually on the rise despite improvements in healthcare. The fact is, Black women in the U.S. are 3.5 times more likely to die from pregnancy-related complications or causes than their white counterparts. The healthy birth of babies relies heavily on the care that their mothers receive. Making pregnancy a qualifying life event for a special enrollment period is an important policy to improve women's healthcare access. While many pregnancies are healthy and uneventful, pregnancy itself can trigger a range of significant health conditions, from diabetes to preeclampsia, that left untreated during the prenatal period may cause grave danger to both the woman and her fetus. Even without insurance coverage and without medical complications, as was stated, maternity care and delivery can be extremely costly. With medical complications, it could be devastating costs to a woman and her family. A woman who lacks access to an insurance plan that covers maternity care may forego prenatal care altogether because she simply cannot afford it. Planned Parenthood has long fought for a woman's right to control her reproductive destiny, which includes planning her family, having a healthy pregnancy, giving birth to healthy children, and raising her family in safe and healthy environments. We stand in full support of Senate Bill 206 to provide further options to gain health care coverage during pregnancy, and it's another step our state can do in making maternal health a priority. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Gretchen. Now I'd like to invite Erin Jones to the podium.
Hello, my name is Erin Jones, and I'm here to represent the March of Dimes, and we are very thankful for Senator Kelly's support and leadership on this bill. So Senate Bill 206 is very important to the March of Dimes because it authorizes pregnancy as a qualifying event for a special enrollment period. So the March of Dimes has been working across the country on making sure that every woman of childbearing age, infant and child, has health care access and coverage. And today, Connecticut's Bill 206 can also further that goal by creating a special enrollment period for pregnant women so that they can gain the health coverage they need to have a healthy pregnancy. So there's 2 points I want to make about this. I'm going to keep it very simple so that everyone can understand. Prenatal care is vital for healthy pregnancies and healthy babies. There's just no other way around it. If we're going to cover the birth, why aren't we going to cover the pregnancy? And so we want to make sure that every woman has coverage. So pregnancy-related conditions can pose significant health risks for mothers and infants. Prenatal care helps to address these risks by providing screening, treatment for medical conditions such as hypertension, which is the leading cause of maternal mortality, and identifying risk behaviors like smoking or poor nutrition that are associated with poor birth outcomes. Regular prenatal care helps women and their infants have healthy pregnancies. Regular prenatal care is essential for ensuring access to screening and interventions that can directly affect the health of infants. Some of these include folic acid supplements, screening for preeclampsia, and gestational diabetes, as well as counseling on healthy lifestyles. The second point is pregnancy should be designated as a qualifying life event. Not all employers offer health insurance. Not all policies cover all the pregnancy-related services a woman may need. Pregnant women may earn too much to qualify for Medicaid, but not enough to afford to purchase a policy through the Access Health Connecticut or through private insurers. Today, an uninsured or underinsured woman who discovers that she's pregnant may be able to obtain coverage or switch for part of her or during her pregnancy. By designating pregnancy as a qualifying life event, women should be empowered to enroll in coverage as soon as they become pregnant. The March of Dimes strongly supports and ensures that all women have access to coverage and care during pregnancy to ensure the health of both mother and child. The March of Dimes urges policymakers to adapt the pregnancy as a qualifying life event, allowing mothers to access the vital health services provided in prenatal care. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Aaron. Next, we'll hear from Kathryn Bailey.
Thank you, Senator Kelly. My name is Kathryn Bailey, and I'm the Deputy Director of the Connecticut Women's Education and Legal Fund. QUELF is a statewide nonprofit that advocates for and empowers women in Connecticut, especially those who are underserved or marginalized. QUELF is the state's leading champion for women and girls. We are also a longtime and active member of the Coalition for Choice, a group of advocates committed to protect reproductive choice and freedom in our state. Prenatal care is essential to the health and well-being of mothers and babies, and for that reason, we are pleased that Senator Kelly reintroduced this bill, now Senate Bill 206, and for the support of other senators standing here today. Limited enrollment periods are simply impractical for women who may not realize their insurance plans do not include maternity care until they are pregnant, or who do not find out about their pregnancy until it's too late, until after open enrollment closes. No person should be forced to forego these critical services because the timing of her pregnancy doesn't align with the open enrollment period for health plans. Pregnant women who are uninsured or insured under a plan that doesn't include maternity care are often forced to pay out of pocket, but more often than not, they will simply forego those important services because they're not able to pay. Personally, I gave birth approximately 2 years ago, and if I had not had health insurance, I would have had to pay approximately $20,000 for a cesarean section, about $3,000 for our in-hospital stay, and several thousand more in prenatal visits that happen as regularly as weekly in the month leading up to birth. This is an outrageous sum to be placed on any individual. If Connecticut truly centers family values, we will advance this common sense policy to save the lives of newborn babies by identifying and preventing complications before and during birth. This bill would help to save women's lives too. Regular prenatal visits are critical to identify life-threatening health issues such as preeclampsia, high blood pressure, gestational diabetes. And let's not forget about the racial implications of uninsured pregnant women. As Gretchen said, in the United States, black mothers die at 3 to 4 times the rate of white mothers, according to the CDC. Put another way, black mothers are 243% more likely to die from pregnancy or child's birth-related complications. This is simply unacceptable. While the reasons for this are complex, this bill is one way that we can work to begin to narrow that disparity. Thank you again to Senator Kelly for introducing Senate Bill 206. We look forward to working together to protect women's health and babies' health in this state. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Kathryn. Now, Stephen Hernandez.
Thank you, Senator Kelly, for your leadership and others here in the round with us. You know, this bill, quite simply, I'm Steve Hernandez, the Executive Director of the Legislature's Commission on Women, Children, and Seniors. And this bill, quite simply, is about ensuring that these vital products are available and meet mothers and families where they are in their process of ensuring the vitality, productivity, and success of their own families. And as we work as a commission to ensure that the state of Connecticut remains vital, successful, and productive, we need to make sure that our most important resources are cared for not just after pregnancy, but leading up to pregnancy. So we appreciate your leadership, and we look forward to working with you throughout this legislative session to have this important legislation passed.
Thank you very much, Stephen. I'll now call Senator Heather Summers, who's also chair of the Health Committee.
Good morning. My name is Senator Heather Summers, and I am co-chair of the Public Health Committee, and I am here today in full support of Senate Bill 206. We talk about healthy outcomes and women's rights and women's access to health care. There is nothing more important from a public health perspective than having the care that you need during your prenatal visits and the time working up until you deliver a healthy child. I want to share with you a story. The person has asked me to not use their name in my district, of a young woman who did not have prenatal care and did not have health insurance. And in her 18th week of pregnancy, things started to turn the wrong way, but she had not had the prenatal care that she needed. She ended up being in the hospital, pregnant with twins, delivering them with very, very, very complicated issues going forward. So not only is this person financially devastated for the cost associated with that delivery, but if she perhaps had had the prenatal care going into her pregnancy, throughout her pregnancy, the outcome could have been different for the two children that she delivered. They will have problems going forward now for the rest of their lives. So if we can pass this bill, which should be something that every woman has the right to, and in this country there is no reason that any woman should be dying having a child. I want to make that very clear. Then we can change the outcomes, not only for the women who are delivering and choosing to go forward with a pregnancy, but we can change the outcomes for those children that are delivered. And I want to encourage people that are not familiar with this bill to go read it, because it's absolutely essential for our future, for children that are being born, and for women in this state. And it's time that we set an example here in the state of Connecticut. I am fully supportive of Senate Bill 206. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Summers. I'd like to call Senator George Logan, Vice Chair of the Public Health Committee.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here again. State Senator George Logan. I come before you as Vice Chair of the Public Health Committee. I am in full support of Senate Bill 206. When it comes to women's health and prenatal care, I think it's of vital importance. Part of our role here is to make sure that the folks in our state are able and have access to proper health care. And I think it's also our responsibility to think of those who are the unborn as well, to make sure that we are providing all of the services. And I would hate to see available care not provided to a mother, to a child in the womb because of bureaucratic or an administrative issue. This is something that we have the power to fix and to correct. And again, I am in full support of Senate Bill 206.
Thank you, Senator Logan. Just before I conclude and take some questions, I do want to indicate I'm chairman of the Insurance and Real Estate Committee, and my co-chairs, both Representative Scanlon is not with us today. He is out of state traveling, and Senator Larson had a prior commitment this morning. With that, I will open the floor to